Terraria's remix seed completely flips the game upside down, literally. But did you know that the progression of some weapons on this seed actually have been completely changed? For example, the Aqua Scepter drops from Duke Fishron. And I noticed that these remixed weapons actually have a really nice progression. So I was wondering if I can actually beat the remix seed with only these remixed weapons. And all of which is done on Master Mode. So we start out on our remix seed, also known as Don't Dig Up. Now to be clear, this is not Get Fixed Boy. I didn't really want to do a Get Fixed Boy playthrough. Get Fixed Boy is just really annoying to play. But down here in the underworld, we can get a bunch of ash wood, and these pots actually drop rope, which means I can start going upwards in the world, which is really the only way you can go. And early game, I really only have a couple options since I can't use any weaponry to kill anything. I have to find something in a chest. I can find the magic dagger, which is found in wooden chests or sold by the skeleton merchant, or I can go and find the ice biome and try and find the ice bow. The ice bow is normally dropped by ice mimics in hard mode, but now it's just found in ice chests. And I figured that this would be the easiest course of action because I quickly found the ice biome. Now it was a bit hard to traverse without any weaponry, but really quickly I found a house with the frozen chest, which actually contained the ice bow. And shooting this thing, it actually keeps its projectile speed that it normally has. It shoots arrows really quickly. Now the damage has been significantly nerfed and its use time has been increased, but those arrows fly, and for early game, this is a really good weapon. I made a house down in the underworld, and the traveling merchant appeared, and I actually bought the gi, since I don't have any armor, and it increases my damage a little bit. So now it's time to just look for some life crystals, and also some ores, and maybe some gems. In Don't Dig Up, mimics now spawn in pre-hard mode, so I did kill one. It dropped a cloud in a bottle. It just drops like golden chest loot. While I was spelunking, Tim actually spawned on me, which was pretty nice, considering he drops a wizard hat, which gives 4 defense and magic damage, which will come into play later. And once again in the caves, because there's not really anywhere else I can be, I actually found Jack Sellington, and he might have had the best store I could have hoped for, having the magic dagger, which means I don't have to find it now, and roller skates. The issue is I have no money, so I had to scrape up enough cash to buy the magic dagger. Luckily it's only 50 silver, so that was an easy get, but I really want these roller skates. So I sell literally everything I have, and it's still not enough money. So I box him in and start mining around looking for ores that I can sell to him, and I actually managed to find a life crystal, which I really didn't want to sell, but you have to do what you have to do. Roller skates are just that good. So now we have great movement and a new weapon. I don't quite have enough fallen stars to make the magic dagger work, but I am getting up there. Fallen stars actually drop from slimes in this seed and sometimes pots, so they're not impossible to come by. And then I came across the skeleton merchant who was selling roller skates again, so I guess I didn't have to do all that, but whatever. While I was exploring, I actually came across the huge dragon egg, which contains the chillet, although I don't think I'm going to use it because it does damage, which I don't really like using for these challenge runs. But just know, chillet is goated. I would normally probably use it, but it's okay. Roller skates are goated as well. And then I even found the underground jungle, getting myself a staff of regrowth and collecting some materials for jungle armor. I finally made it to 400 max HP, and then I'm just back in the jungle, and then I accidentally spawn in the queen bee. Now for some reason I actually decided to give it my all and see if I could beat it with the stuff I had. My damage was just not good enough for it though. So I'm gonna be in the long haul for this fight, and I'm gonna need some energy for this. Luckily, today's sponsor, Holy, has me covered on that. Boo, CJ jump scare. So Holy actually has 4 main lines of products. We got Holy Energy, Holy Hydration, Holy Milkshake, and they have a Holy Iced Tea, but I'm not a tea guy. And I've been having the Holy Energy quite a bit. It's quite tasty. It doesn't have that like super sweet gummy bear taste that some energy drinks do. Instead, it's really fruity, and it's a nice alternative to your soft drink. If you have a soft drink problem, because soft drinks taste great, this is a great substitute for that. So I actually haven't tried this one. This is the, I just ripped off the thing. Raspberry Raptor. If it decides to focus, you could see it. There we go. Raspberry Raptor. Oh, now it's not focused on me. Okay. It's really simple. You just take the powder, you put it in your shaker, add some water, and then obviously you shake it just like this. So you've got a live reaction of Raspberry Raptor. That's actually really pleasant. That's from the energy line. Their hydration and milkshakes are great too. So if you want to try it for yourself, I recommend getting the starter set deluxe. It gives you 14 sachets of energy, iced tea, hydration, and 15 milkshake sachets. And you also get a free 12 sachet cocktail energy drink box. And you get this lovely shaker as well. The price is only £59.99, but make sure to use my code CJ, super easy to remember, for 10% off, making it £54. That means that every drink of 500 milliliters is under 80p. So now that I've got my energy boost, let's see if I even beat the Queen Bee. That's so good, bro. I got it down to half health, which is not bad, and then I died. After a long time of exploring through the jungle, I finally got enough jungle materials to make full jungle armor. And just in time, the Eye of Cthulhu decided to spawn on me. Now I was testing between the ice bow and the magic dagger to see which one will do better against this thing. These aren't normally weapons you'd use against him, so I really wasn't sure which one's best, but I mostly opted to use the magic dagger. It does have piercing abilities and it can potentially hit the Eye of Cthulhu twice, but it definitely makes quick work of the servants. And the servants also drop these mana stars, which makes up for my very low amount of mana. But towards the end of the fight, he wasn't spawning servants anymore and it was just dashing at me like a crazy person. So I switched to the ice bow and it was doing very consistent damage. The fast projectile speed was definitely helping as well. But you know, I'd switch back to the magic dagger when I had the mana for it. And just like that, pretty easily, Eye of Cthulhu defeated. I then made a pylon in the jungle. Pylons are actually very, very important on this playthrough, as traversing is really annoying on Don't Dig Up without them. And I then went in search of some shimmer. Now I know that it should be on the jungle side of the world, at least I think so. So I'm just searching loosely around for it. I don't know where it's gonna be. And the ebon stone in my way is getting very annoying. But I finally managed to stumble across the aether biome. And then I fell in the liquid and then had to traverse my way all the way around it in a cave with ebon stone in the way. Very annoying. And then a blood moon happened, which got me a shark tooth necklace, and then a goblin army happened right after that. And with no deaths, it wasn't too hard with the magic dagger since it pierces so well. The goblin army was defeated. And now I can search for the goblin tinkerer, and with his tinker's bench, I can now shimmer forge even better. And now it's time to head over to the corruption. I know there's a lot of corruption on this world, but specifically the regular underground corruption, where it has shadow orbs, and I'm able to smash them to spawn in the Eater of Worlds. Now this one I'm a bit more prepared for than the Eye of Cthulhu. I have way more mana stars. I also have a mana regeneration potion and a magic power potion. Now magic power makes a big difference with 20% extra magic damage, and it really skyrockets our damage with this magic dagger. As I've said before, it pierces, which is great for the Eater of Worlds. Along with those buffs, I have Iron Skin and Regen, which really brings up our survivability, so we're not in any danger really. Fighting it underground, so the spit is less of a problem, and there's no way I'm gonna fight it on the freaking surface of this world. And with no real issues, Eater of Worlds got absolutely minced by my magic dagger. I mean, it's mythical now, it's got the magic power potion, it really shined here. After that, I went and searched the underground desert again, looking for a magic conch, which didn't take too long to find, and that can send me right to the ocean, and now we're on the surface of this world, which is very dangerous, but does yield a bunch of deathweed, which is nice. And I quickly found the dungeon. It's not in a tree. I've never actually done the remix seed on its own. I've only done Get Fixed Boy, so I'm used to the dungeon being inside a tree, but that's actually from the drunk seed. But I got to work on an arena, building some walls so that these enemies can't really get to me. But what's annoying is the remix seed actually makes it so that it's always nighttime. So these zombies and demon eyes are not going to stop spawning. But I laid down some lava on the bottom to mitigate spawns as much as possible. And with my arena ready, I buffed up with a bunch of buffs and spawned in Skeletron. Now the issue here is I don't have much space. I didn't want to make my arena too big because that will just make it prone to more spawns. I know I could have placed a bunch of safe walls to prevent them, but I don't have time for that, bro. Regardless, we're making it work. The Featherfall potion, as always, gives me a bunch of control with my movement, and a magic dagger is actually doing a pretty good job against Skeletron. Now you might be wondering, is the magic dagger really the best option for me at this point? And sadly, yes, there's not really anything that's better than it. I could have got the KO cannon, but that's a rare drop from cave bats, and I'm not going to farm for that because the KO cannon takes the chain knife's place, and the chain knife is normally horrifically bad. I know this from my flails only challenge and making the horrible mistake of grinding for it. And obviously the ice bow is the other option, but the magic dagger just yields more damage. There's literally nothing else I can get, so this is it. But after Skeletron is defeated, there is progression unlocks we'll get. We just have to beat it. And the hand weapons have been easily dealt with, and lucky for us, the For the Worthy seed is not active, so no dark casters, which should make this easier. We just have to dodge the skull and the homing skulls, and we are taking some big damage here and there, but I wasn't too worried in this fight. We were easily chipping it down, and obviously there's no time limit. We can take as long as we need to because there's no day-night cycle, it's always night. And finally, Skeletron has been defeated, and that was very important because we can head into the dungeon, grab some golden keys, and search some golden chests, and after a while we have a shadow key and we finally find the bubble gun. Now this is normally dropped by Duke Fishron, so it's normally very strong, doing 70 damage per bubble, and it's been dropped all the way down to 5 damage. That is an insane drop off, but it now has 20 armor penetration instead. But the issue with the bubble gun is it does do a good amount of damage, but it is incredibly close range. But luckily for us, there is another option, and it is found in shadow chests. Normally you find the Flower of Fire in these chests, but now it is an unholy trident, which is normally dropped by red devils after a mechanical boss is defeated. Its damage has been sliced in half, but its mana cost has been decreased, and this one seemed like my choice of weapon. And there's not much left to do but to build a railway for my roller skates, drop the guide into a pool of lava, and spawn in the wall of flesh. I first tried the bubble gun and it seemed to be doing decent, but it's a bit too close range for my liking, so I went straight to the unholy trident, and you can see the damage this thing is doing. It pierces right through all the hungry, which is fantastic. Its pierce hasn't been decreased, so it's a really good option for this fight, just tearing through all the hungry and going straight to the wall. And the damage is kind of crazy, man. Like, I don't know why I'd really use the bubble gun. Like, it wasn't bad, it seemed to be doing something, but yeah, the unholy trident was just destroying it in DPS. Like, Wall was quickly losing health to this thing. It's kind of like a better demon scythe, honestly. And just like that, we defeated the wall of flesh and instantly died to some hungry. Right into hard mode, the first thing that I wanted to do was farm some mimics because they now drop the Wand of Sparking, taking the place of the magic dagger. I really want to see how strong this weapon is now. And the first one I killed drops the Wand of Sparking. So that was lucky, and as you can see, it just freaking shoots so fast and does good damage. Now it turns out on Don't Dig Up, you can like dig this tunnel down, and it's actually a really good and easy way to farm enemies. Considering it's all solid on my left and right, they can only spawn in this one spot. So I decided to farm a bunch of mimics because I still want a cross necklace and a bunch of monies. And as it turns out, the Wand of Frosting still exists, and it's actually super powerful. It's just a slight upgrade from the Wand of Sparking. I then went back to the Underground Corruption, smashing a bunch of demon altars. As you do, subscribe, and then I just made my way up the ore chain. Do I really have to talk about this? I'll say a few words. Titanium bad, Ice Shimmer, and Adamantite good. Obviously, Wand of Frosting is a magic weapon, so at the moment we're running a mage build. I then farmed a couple Wyverns and made some testosterone wing. Now in pre-hard mode, we obviously had a couple options. We had the magic dagger, which is the Wand of Frosting alternative. So what is the alternative of the ice bow? Obviously, what's normally found in those chests is the snowball cannon. Not the snowman cannon, the snowball cannon. And since the ice bow is normally dropped from ice mimics, you can probably guess how I have to get the snowball cannon. Now, ice mimics are very hard to come across, and I really didn't want to set up a mob grinder in the snow biome, but I actually managed to come across an ice mimic, and so luckily, the first one I killed dropped the snowball cannon. And this one might even be crazier than the Wand of Frosting. This thing normally just shoots one snowball. It's not very good, but now its damage has been doubled and its use time has been cut dramatically. This thing is so funny to use. So I decided to make an alternate build with the Ranger set, and this way I can switch between the two and see which one is actually the better weapon. They both have their uses. Obviously, the Wand of Frosting has piercing and the snowball cannon does not, but I did figure that the snowball cannon just had better single target DPS. It was then a blood moon, and I did manage to kill a clown, which dropped a chain knife, normally the KO cannon. And as you can see, this thing is kind of dookie. Like, it's still just a chain knife, but instead it does a bunch more damage. It just feels like the same thing. This one is not worth getting. Then the King Slime spawned on me, and I just freaking destroyed it. Just got a bunch of snowballs to its face. I then made an artificial crimson biome, and I made a bloody spine and spawned in the Brain of Cthulhu and just face tanked it and killed it very quickly. I then did a mandatory obligatory fishing session and spawned in the twins with a mechanical eye. I actually opted to using the snowball cannon here. As I said before, the single target DPS is just insane for it. I did use the Wonder Frosting to inflict the debuff, but just look at this snowball cannon go, dude. The damage is insane. Obviously, we're not fighting Medusa here. I don't think I have to explain why, but this isn't Get Fixed Boy. It's a Get Fixed Boy exclusive. I'm used to fighting Medusa in the underworld in this type of a scenario, but no, we're just fighting the twins alone, and dude, this thing is tearing them apart. It's so good. This thing actually outshines the Wonder Frosting. Is crazy. Now, Spasmatism is in second phase. We have to watch out for the spewing. This is where the fight can really get messy, but the roller skates honestly keep us just far enough that we're not getting stuck in it. And my arena isn't the biggest, so I do have to turn around a lot, which isn't great, but it's no real big issue. Spasmatism is getting destroyed by these freaking snowballs, and it's been defeated, so now it's just Retinazer, which should be no problem at all. I decided to switch to the Wonder Frosting just to see how well it does against it, and it's hitting around 500 to 600 damage per second, while the snowball cannon is hitting more in the 600 to 700, but it is harder to hit sometimes. But they're both just really good, and the twins has been defeated. And now with the mechanical boss defeated, we can get the weapon that drops from Red Devils, which is normally an Unholy Trident, and this took a really long time. The Unholy Trident is a rare drop from these guys, and they don't even spawn that often. But about 25 minutes later, I finally killed a Red Devil that dropped a Flower of Fire, and this has been incredibly buffed. It has almost double the damage, and its use time has been cut down pretty significantly. Also, it inflicts Hellfire instead of On Fire. So now with the best weapon that we can get, I spawned in the Destroyer. Now this was the one that I was kind of worried about since I don't have incredible piercing weapons. Snowball Cannon doesn't pierce, Wonder Frosting pierces a little bit, and the Flower of Fire doesn't pierce at all. But the damage on the Flower of Fire is good enough that it is definitely our best weapon. And then really unfortunately, there's a Blood Moon during the fight, which is very annoying. These enemies are now spawning quite a lot, including a freaking clown, which can hit like an absolute truck, but I just tried to ignore it all. The issue with the Flower of Fire is it bounces on platforms, which made it a bit awkward for this fight, considering the Destroyer was under my platform, so I had to like hover under the platform. But regardless, it was doing a good job. We were tearing down the Destroyer. Not the best Destroyer kill I've done, but not the worst. And finally, we've taken down the Destroyer. I then made some hallowed armor and took on Skeletron Prime. This one should go better than the Destroyer, as it has a third of the Destroyer's health. And yeah, the Flower of Fire was actually destroying this thing. Like, the damage was crazy if I could hit those fireballs. This is lore accurate Mario fireballs. I mean, we were easily hitting the over 1,000 damage per second threshold, especially when Prime was spinning at me and it just had a straight line of damage. And there we go. All the mechanical bosses have been defeated now. I then went to the underground jungle looking for Life Fruit and Chlorophyte, which didn't take too long to get to full 500 health. I then killed the Wall of Flesh again and searched some Sky Islands for a Celestial Magnet, and with that I could make the Celestial Emblem. And there's not much left for me to do now but to spawn in Plantera. The Flower of Fire is doing quick work of Plantera here, as normally the Unholy Trident is actually pretty good against Plantera at this stage, so you'd expect this to be pretty good as well. And yeah, in some ways it might even be better than the Unholy Trident. Quickly tore apart Plantera's first phase. We headed into the Osagoth tunnel that I prepared and just started raining Flower of Fires upwards so that she could go right into them, falling onto her. It was a little bit awkward sometimes, but as long as I stayed close enough, Plantera was getting hit by the fireballs, and Plantera goes down with ease. With Plantera down, I quickly raided the Lizard Temple, which is now on the surface of the world. Got a bunch of lizard power cells, and I spawned in the Golem. There's really no more upgrades I can get right now, apart from Spectre Armor, so why not just go straight for the Golem? And I mean, this is Master Mode Golem. It's not for the worthy, it's not Get Fixed Boy. This thing is much easier than normal. It's kind of pathetic. The Flower of Fire just doing a ton of damage to it, and that's the Golem defeated. I fought it again and actually got a Sunstone from him, and after that went back into into the dungeon, farming some dungeon spirits. This took a while, a few deaths, which were quite annoying. I managed to get the key brand, and here's where I should mention something. In the past, the katana and the key brand actually switched places on this seed, which was quite interesting, but they actually removed it in the recent update. This is probably due to the key brand getting a rework in that you can throw it, and I guess they didn't want to program the katana to be thrown, but they definitely could have. I feel like it was just a bit of laziness. It would have been cool to throw around a katana, and after a while I could make a full set of Spectre armor for myself. The pirates then decided to invade, and this was obviously just a nothing burger. There was nothing here that I wanted. It was not hard at all, and they were very easily defeated. After that, we're going to the next invasion, which is the Pumpkin Moon. This is kind of very important, but you'll see why in a minute. Now, the Fire of Fire was definitely tearing up these things quite a bit better than I expected. It was actually impressing me how quickly I could kill Morning Woods and Pumpkins. The whole Pumpkin Moon passed, and I didn't get what I wanted, so I fought another one, looking for a bunch of Morning Wood kills, and this time I do get the Witch's Broom. I then went to the Glowing Mushroom biome, looking for truffle worms, which I managed to get a few of, and then I teleported to the beach. Now, the beach is much more dangerous on this seed, but yet I spawned in Duke Fishron. Now, I knew ahead of time that this fight would be really hard, specifically because of the low gravity in this seed. It's basically like all space layer up here, which really makes your down vertical movement difficult and can easily kill you with Duke. Also, if you reach the top of the world, you instantly die. So I didn't want to risk that, and the solution I had was the Witch's Broom. This thing has infinite flight, which obviously helps on its own, but it also isn't affected by the gravity. The only issue is that its movement is quite slow, so it is pretty difficult to dodge Duke Fishron, but with the right movements, it's definitely possible. Now, as you can see, the Flower of Fire is actually dishing out some good damage against Duke Fishron. It is really impressing me how well this weapon is performing. Its biggest issue is it can't really pop the bubbles very well since it doesn't pierce, but still, we're doing crazy amounts of damage per second for a pre-Plantera weapon. Duke Fishron gets into third phase, and here it's getting a little scary, but as long as I count the dashes and make sure I'm positioned correctly, it should be fine. Our DPS is not great in third phase, but with the right movements of the Witch's Broom, we do defeat Duke Fishron just like that. And we actually get the Duke Fishron wings first attempt, but we didn't get what we were looking for in the first place. It's still kind of crazy to get the wings, and I'm not gonna complain about that. I fought Duke Fishron again. On my second attempt, it went just as smoothly as the last, but this time I get the Electric Eel, and on the third attempt, I get the Tempest Staff. But I only took 4 attempts to get the weapon that I was looking for, which is the Aqua Scepter, normally the Bubble Gun. Now, this thing has been buffed incredibly. It has went from 27 to 90 damage, and its use time has been dramatically decreased. It's kind of funny how most of the weapons in this playthrough have been mage weapons, and then I decided, for the fun of it, let's see how good the Aqua Scepter is against Duke Fishron. And I take some big damage off rip just because I'm stupid, but look at this damage. Holy freaking crap. Look how quickly we are destroying Duke Fishron. This is actually insane. Like, I did not expect this thing to be this good. Look at the freaking damage. It just tore up Duke Fishron like it was nothing. That rivaled some like end game weaponry, bro. And now it's time to take on the Empress of Light. I just did some light buffs, and yeah, the Aqua Scepter was kind of freaking destroying the Empress, dude. It was kind of hard to hit. It is the bubble gun replacement, so obviously that weapon is not easy to hit. This one is easier to hit because it actually has some range to it, which makes it so broken. But once the Empress entered second phase, I was hitting her way more consistently, and she just got freaking destroyed. I then decided to take on the Frost Moon. I don't know why. Honestly, I just wanted to do it, I guess. Like, there's nothing I could have got from this at all. And I mean, just look at the Aqua Scepter go off, bro. Have you ever seen a weapon so broken for its stage of progression? I don't think any Duke Fishron drop even comes close to being this good. I then fought the Queen Slime. Why not? Just freaking destroyed it. And now we're gonna do a serious fight, the Lunatic Cultist. I started it off damaged, but it's gonna be no problem. We did some light buffing, and holy freaking crap, dude. Look at this thing. Remind me to freaking use this weapon on Get Fixed Boy playthroughs, because it might be the best weapon you can use. Yes, it is a bit awkward to hit things sometimes, but man, it's so worth it, especially with the freaking Spectre Hood. Like, considering its magic, you can also heal off of it. Obviously, Lunatic Cultist was completely destroyed destroyed by this thing. I then went over to the Nebula pillar first, and this one actually was made pretty easy with the Aqua Scepter. I had no deaths, and it just tore up everything, bro. And same went for the Solar pillar. I actually didn't die here once. The Aqua Scepter was just destroying them. I headed over to the Vortex pillar, and this one gave me no problems either. I just killed a bunch of enemies and then destroyed the pillar. And before we destroy the Stardust pillar, I actually decided to take on the Golem a bunch of times because I wanted an Eye of the Golem to get a Destroyer emblem, which is a really good accessory. Now, I didn't actually use the Sunstone that I got because the Celestial Shell is just too much of a grind and I couldn't be bothered. I then farmed a bunch of Star Cells for the Stardust pillar and destroyed it, and Impending Doom approached. Now, this might be difficult considering that there is low gravity on the surface, and the surface is where I want to fight the Moon Lord. And the low gravity isn't the only danger up here either. Yeah, that star just did 5,000 damage to me. The Fallen Stars insta-kill you, and I had to quickly get back up to the surface and buff up just in time for the Moon Lord to spawn in. I'm actually doing this fight on the Witch's Broom. Normally, I would not do this. It doesn't really have enough movement to safely dodge the Death Laser, but the low grav is just so brutal that the Witch's Broom is really good for this fight. And holy freaking crap, look at how much damage the Aqua Scepter is doing. We're hitting 5,000 damage per second. That is insane. This thing is doing summoner damage, maybe better. Like, I'm pretty sure this thing is better than any of the Nebula weapons you can get. And I was able to consistently dodge the Death Laser. It might have been really close at some points, but I was able to do it. And now all the eyes are out of the socket, and all we have to do is run from the Moon Lord, from the Tree of Cthulhu's, and just spray this friggin' water at his heart. Yeah, we're taking down Terraria's final boss, Cthulhu himself, with some freaking water spraying from a hose, and quite easily at that. Just like that, we have defeated the remixed seed with only remixed weapons. This was really fun. I just had this idea and I really wanted to make a video on it just for some fun. These weapons are so fun to use remixed. Like, I had a blast, bro. And the Aqua Scepter just freaking cherry on top of the cake. It was broken. And then I took on the Martian Madness and killed a Martian Saucer, getting the last relic for me to get besides Betsy. Thank you guys for watching the video. Shout out to my members as always: Salad King 41, Goliathid Gaming YT, Retract 41, and the Mad Potato. You guys help support the channel. It means a lot. If you want to become a member, join down below. I'll read your name out loud. I'll see you guys next time.